Hey, good morning, guys. It is June 8th, 2015, and I am here with my June 2015 mid-year check-in. Before I get into it, I want to say hello. How are you? I hope you guys are faring well so far this year, and I hope that no matter where you are in the world, that the summer has at least come to visit you because I love the sun. Before I get into my 5 points, I want to just do the housekeeping things. The My Taught You website is up and running and alive. I'm not sure where you're listening to my podcast. I know they're on iTunes and Podomatic and on my site, but wherever you're listening, if you want to go back and check out some of my other podcasts, I think I've done over 60 so far. The website, mytaughtyou.com, is the clearest and most concise place to kind of go back and get information on what you may want to listen to. So I love the way the site layout is over there. So if you're like, I know you did so many, I don't know where to start, either start at the beginning or check out the site and see what you want to listen to. In terms of the merchandise in the store, the journals are still happening. It's just 10 pages of information for me, and then I share my journaling process. And then these journals are my absolute favorite journals in the world. I called them and they partnered with me to create my own custom journal. EcoJot is the company. So I have written in these journals for over 5 years. I love the paper quality. I love binding because I like to rip sheets out if things are not going correctly. So I really love these. You can write with ink and highlight, and it doesn't bleed through, and it's recycled. So I just love it. The mugs, I dropped the price of the mugs by $5. I didn't realize that the shipping was so much on those, which is crazy. So I dropped the price in hopes that it offsets the shipping, in hopes that it is at least affordable for people. So if you haven't copped a mug, those are happening, and they're permanently $5 off. Last thing, on the Ask Me Anything tab, I do have a lot of questions, and let me know if you want me to start answering some of those in a podcast form. But I do have a lot, and I'm trying to answer those weekly. So every week I'm answering some of those questions. So that is it for me. You know how to find me on Instagram. I'm on Snapchat now, and I'm mildly obsessed. If you follow me, you know. So everything on the web, any social things are Myleik, Myleik. Thank you guys for hanging with me and supporting me, and I'm going to get into this mid-year checkup. I got 5 points per the usual. The number one thing that we're going to start off doing is evaluate. That is so important to me. I mention it in just about any sort of like yearly check-in, birthdays, New Year. June is no different. I don't know because my birthday is in May, which sets me up for June, but around my birthday, right at my birthday and after, which bleeds into June, I get really reflective and I really start thinking about where I'm at in my life, what I'm doing, what am I accomplishing, are the things in my life serving me, and so on. Like, I get really serious about it. What I want you to do is look at your big goals first. First of all, did you write out your goals for the year? If you didn't, it's not too late to start them now. But if you had some really big goals, I want you to look at those and see, are you on pace? Like, are you halfway done with them by now? Because that's what's most important. You're halfway through the year. Are you halfway done? I'm sipping my coffee. Give me a second. So you want to look at those and say, am I halfway done? Will I finish this year? Or is this something that's consuming a bit too much of my time and I need to abandon it and maybe start it in 2016 more prepared? It is okay to do that. And so I have looked back on my life and I was like, okay, what am I doing? And I think I started to become a little too content with my accomplishments, which seems crazy because I just launched a new site this year. But I don't know if I ever imagined that I would be able to accomplish some of the things that I have. Like, I wanted to, I dreamed about it, I worked for it, and then I accomplished them. And now I'm like, okay, I have some more impossible dreams that I want to try to realize. And I mean, the ideas that I have are literally, they seem impossible, but I was like, Myleik, it's time to try those, it's really time to try. So that's where I'm at. What about your smaller goals? What needs more attention? Some of the stuff that you said you were going to do, maybe it was your weight loss goals, your diet goals, something like that. It's not too late to recommit and do what I like to call a marathon week. So I like to do a marathon week where the place that I am the weakest, I do it every day. So maybe you don't have that much confidence calling people and pitching things or pitching yourself. Maybe so you are going to have a marathon week where you do that every single week. Maybe you don't like posting on social media that much. You're going to have a marathon week where you post something every single week. Whatever your weakness is, do a marathon week in June. You can start today, Monday to Monday, Tuesday to Tuesday. You do not have to wait until any specific day. 7 days straight marathon week to kind of get yourself to exercise those weak points that you have. That's the thing, is that it's okay. All of us are weak at something, you know? I mean, I don't even need to get into my weaknesses with you, but I've got plenty. But that's what I find myself doing when I'm doing something like that, a marathon week, a sacrifice. Maybe you're not watching TV all week. Maybe you're going to pick up your book and read every single day this week. Maybe you are going to get in the bed and go to sleep at a decent hour every day this week. Because honestly, guys, the one thing that really helps me when I feel kind of like unbalanced and not in my good place is sleep. You know, I'll try to get in the bed, at least make sure my butt's in the bed by like 9:30. You know, I don't always go to bed at 10. I don't always go to bed at 9:30, but I usually sleep by 10:30. But I try to get in the bed to force myself to go to sleep because I operate better when I'm well rested. Next thing I want to do is focus on your financials. It is definitely June is a perfect time for a financial checkup as well. If you have not subscribed to or you don't get Money Magazine, I recommend you getting it. I really like it. They have a really great article on your financial checkup this year. And if you don't get it, when you go to the library or Barnes and Nobles, go get you a cup of coffee and sit and just flip through it and read it and put it back if you can't afford to buy it or you don't want to buy it. But there's tons of really great financial information in there, and I think that I've never picked it up and not gleaned something from it that's been helpful. So the number one thing that I want you to think about financially is putting your money to work. Okay, what does that mean? There's this new app out called Acorn. A is in apple, C is in cat, O is in October, R is in red, N is in Nancy. All of a sudden, I can't spell Acorn. Acorn is the app, and you can find it on acorn.com. And what it is it allows you to start investing small. So December 2014, I decided to start investing. I have been saving, and my accountant kept saying to me, you've got to do something with this savings. The savings was not making any money, but I just still felt, you know, my wealth manager is like, people love seeing their money in the bank. And it's true. I did. I kind of just enjoyed seeing the fact that I was saving and watching my savings grow. And in December 2014, I decided to take a chunk of my savings because I really wasn't confident about this investing business. I put a chunk of my savings, like maybe I would even a quarter of it. I didn't even put half of it in there. I put a quarter of my savings into this investment account. And then mid-January, I got my statement and my money had made $1,000 in 1 month. And so all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I can make $12,000 a year by doing nothing, you know, just kind of like letting my money sit there. And I had 2 very long meetings with my investors to explain everything to me, to say how moderate or aggressive I wanted to invest. And so after that, I started to save even more. And I just checked my June investment statement, and my money has made $6,000. So my money made $6,000, and I haven't even done anything but simply invest. So I encourage you to check out that Acorn app. I encourage you to check out the site. I encourage you to put your savings to work, let your money start working for you. Because it is really, I mean, it's not going to make much in your savings. And so that's how I feel about that. Another thing I think you should start doing financially is ask for a raise. You know, now is the time before, you know, budgets for next year are coming up. Budgets, you know, companies are thinking about their budgets. They haven't run out of money yet. That usually happens right before the holiday. So start thinking about asking for a raise or preparing to ask for a raise. You know, it's like if you know that you want to have an increase by 2016, start greasing the wheels at your job, start preparing, start figuring out whatever the next level job is, start doing those things so you can kind of pitch yourself and say, these are the things that I've already been doing. have the conversation, schedule the meeting, get it on people's minds that you are looking for an increase. There's no other way that's going to happen unless you do it. Every so often there are jobs where companies are like, let's do an evaluation, let's sit down. I try to do that, but you have to take the initiative and do that if that's not happening, okay? So those are my 2 financial things I want you to focus on this June. Number 3 is get organized. Shred papers. If you've got papers and clutter around your house, get organized. Get organized on your computer. I am the worst at that. I got all kinds of crap on my computer, and it's not organized. But I bought myself a new MacBook for my birthday. I bought a gold one. It's not here yet. It won't be here. It was like on back order for like a month and a half. But when that comes, my June plan is to be more organized with my files on my computer. It's just, I'm better for it. If you have some time, like I said, I did do my paper party, shredding up your files, your computer stuff, empty out all your trash, empty all the trash in your life that's in the way of your success, literally. 4th thing I want you to do is say, am I happy and am I proud of what I'm doing and where I am in my life right now? If it's not a definitive yes, it's time to put some things on hold or potentially ditch them. And that was, the really tough thing that I had to do with myself is say, okay, if I'm in a relationship or if I'm doing something, am I fully happy? Is this what I want? Otherwise, I just don't think it's worth it to do. I think, life is too short for relationships that don't bring out the best in you, and that's romantic, that's your friendships. If you are not around people that are bringing out the best in you, now is the time to kind of look at that and go, what am I doing? And make some changes. And that's probably, I don't know, it's like they always say people get dumped in the summertime, but I don't know if it's necessarily the weather, but maybe it is. But just like that mid-year, like, okay, I've gone from January to June riding with you, and is this worth it? I'm not going to go a whole nother 6 months. So basically, you know what to do. Number 5 is probably my favorite one and so important, and I don't think people focus on this enough, is this time for a friend checkup. And this is how do I do a friend checkup? Can the people that you spend the most time with and improve your life in 5 minutes or drag it down in 5 minutes? So we'll call it the 5-minute test. So think about the people that you spend the most time with. If you only had 5 minutes of time, what would they be more likely to do? Improve your life or drag it down? And so that's what you have to think about. And if it's nothing, if that person is just stagnant, they're not improving it. So we're just going to say they're dragging it down. You've got to surround yourself with people who are going to help improve you. And so I'm going to give you a tip for 3 kinds of friends that you want to make sure you have in your friend bank. You want to make sure you have an older, successful friend to learn from. So you have to have that. I have some older, successful friends. I'm 36, so I have some friends in their 40s that are older and successful. I don't know if you guys know this, but I have become friends with a lot of people in the hair industry. So a lot of the most successful brands that you see and the different owners, I would say that I have become friends with them. I have their numbers. I can call them. I can email them. I talk to them. Are we besties? No, but I'm pretty sure, when I hit a wall or if I see them out and I have a conversation, I can do that. The second friend you want to have is an equal friend to exchange ideas, somebody who's on your level, understands what you're going through, and they're also hustling on the same level that you are. That's what I'm saying, equal. Don't confuse age with equal. Don't confuse family members with being equal. People who are at your level, doing what you're doing. The other person you want to have is a person that's below you. I don't really like saying below because that's kind of like, but someone who's on the grind and hasn't reached the place that you are yet. That person's going to energize you. That person's going to coach you. And I honestly love being around the girls in my office because they energize me in a different kind of way. I always laugh at them because they will be talking. You should hear them talking. It's so fast. And I'm like, what the hell are they saying? But, I'm also like, oh my God, it's 6 o'clock and I'm ready to drag out of the office and these girls are talking 100 miles an hour. This is like they're setting up for part two of their day. I'm going home to wind down and they're getting ready to get out and fire it back up, which is exciting and energizing. Um, and so those are my 5 points. Whatever it is that you need to recommit to, you need to go ahead and knock that out and do it now. I want you to do less talk, more action. So often, so many people, I kind of got annoyed today because I look on my Instagram and people will write me and they get upset with me because of what I may write about or what I may talk about socially, but never really focusing on what I'm actually doing personally, professionally, all these things that I do. So don't become consumed in what people are writing about online. Look at the things that people are doing if you feel the desire to measure or judge or whatever. That is it for me. Hit me up with anything, any questions that you have on my Ask Me Anything tab. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Snapchat, I'm on Twitter, and I do still have that Facebook page that I'm going to get better with. Victoria in my office is going to start helping me with that. So that's going to become more robust as well. That's facebook.com/mytaughtyou. Anywho, I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good week.